Greetings, and welcome to the very first Save the Turnips vlog. Those of you who have seen the vlogs that I have done, you know that I interject quite a bit of humor into them. So Carl, how do you feel about being a turnip? Carl? However, this is a very serious topic.
Yeah, this is my friend Mark. He's a turnip. He has no hair.
I said this is a serious topic.
I
said this is a serious topic.
Take one. Don't throw the turnip at me.
Save the turnips.
Serious.
Shh. Can you be serious, please?
Focus. I had to interview a comedian, didn't I?
Yeah, you
Well,
did.
wasn't that fun? I took it right there, lady.
Hi, this is John, your favorite ex-con.
Never mind.
I think I bruised the turnip.
Have you heard of the campaign called Save the Turnips?
No.
Do you guys know what a turnip is?
Yes.
What is a turnip?
It's a vegetable.
Turnip food in the ground, growing, terrible tasting.
Did you pull out of the ground?
And Carl, have you heard of a campaign called Save the Turnips?
Durr. God, why would you ask me that when I've been on your site for a month?
Because I'm trying to set up some stuff here. You're supposed to like...
Oh, okay. No, what's it about?
It's somebody who goes to jail or is wrongfully prosecuted for being behind on child support payments.
Look at you. Boom. She's all kinds of educated.
You can't get blood from a turnip, so we're turnips. That's where it came from.
Can't get blood from a turnip.
There you go. Absolutely. Everybody knows that saying. You know, there's a difference between a deadbeat and a turnip. Everybody knows what a deadbeat looks like. They're hiding the money. They're avoiding their responsibilities. So what do you think of instantly whenever I say behind on child support?
We should all throw him in jail. Maybe beat him up a little bit.
Say whatever you want
Loser.
to. Think, well, what happens if somebody loses their job and it takes them 6 months to get a court date to have child support modified?
Well, in that case, that's a little different because then you should be calling somebody and saying, look, I'm on hard times working, let me work with you, I want to get this paid up.
What we're finding is that the courts instantly assume that if you're behind on child support, it is deliberate. And that is not the case. In this economy, being unemployed and underemployed is not deliberate. Willfully unemployed and willfully underemployed are terms that you hear the courts just throw around.
And it's gone to the extreme on the other side. We assume everybody's a deadbeat.
Turnips are guys like me who work, that can't make their monthly obligation for child or spousal support because the economy's bad, we've lost our jobs, whatever. We have a constant contact with our kids, we're trying, and that's what makes us turnips.
I am here with Heather. And Heather, why are you interested in the Save the Turnips campaign?
Well, I've had two very close friends that have been affected by the injustice and the imbalance in the system.
Have they gone to jail?
One of them, yes, and one of them, no, and hopefully he won't, but I wouldn't put it past them, no.
The courts are biased. They automatically assume that the person, the turnip standing in front of them, is hiding the money, that they're a deadbeat, and they throw them in jail to intimidate them, to cough the money up. From what I understand, you're studying law.
I am. I'm right now studying to be a paralegal. I'm done with that in November. By 2013, I'll go to the National School of Law to become an attorney and fight the evil.
There's also this thing called imputed income, and what this is the courts designate how much money the turnip is worth.
The constitutional violations really are occurring throughout the entire process. I mean, it starts with the imputing the income.
This isn't what you're making. You could provide proof. I've been working this job for X amount of years. I make this income. Here is my paycheck. The courts don't care. No, you are a 35-year-old man who has a bachelor's degree. You should be making this amount of money. And the turnip instantly starts out behind.
That's setting them up for failure, I feel.
Absolutely,
that
yeah.
is a constitutional violation in itself.
If a turnip loses their job They have to schedule a court date to prove that they have no money. And that can take months at a time. Meanwhile, the turnip continues to fall behind because, they have to eat, they have to keep the lights on, they have to have a roof over their head, they have to have a car to drive, and they have no job. But they're expected to continue to pay the full amount of child support. So you can go before a court and 3 or 4 months later after you've lost your job, you're already behind on child support. The courts can throw you in jail without a hearing and without sentencing. This is scary stuff. I am here with
John.
Hi, John.
Hi.
Are you a turnip?
I am a turnip.
There are people that are trying. There are good people being thrown in jail every day.
So I was put in jail in mid-March. I was let out 10 weeks later to the day. 2.5 months I was in.
Wait, they jailed you for 10 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
For what?
Civil contempt of a court order.
What happens inevitably, the non-custodial parent cannot pay their child support payments. And then they're, being charged with contempt.
Well, when we came to court back in March, her attorney walked in and said, he hasn't paid the money, I want him thrown in jail. And
he said those words?
Yes.
And to be charged with contempt, the state, once again, is supposed to prove beyond a shadow of doubt. The burden of proof is theirs to prove.
Person's refusal to follow through with the court order was willful.
Right, that it was willful.
Yeah.
That they're refusing to follow through with the court order.
And he told the judge that even though I was working 2 jobs at the time, that I only got jobs because I knew I was coming to court, even though I'd been working since December.
Do these people not know that there's a recession going on?
No, they don't.
Men and women are being put in handcuffs and hauled away for something that is not a crime. They have committed no criminal activity. Many of these people don't even have any criminal records. They're just being arrested for being broke.
How can a state prove that a parent is underemployed, willfully?
What happened to innocent until proven guilty?
Not when it comes to child support.
Or turnips.
Or turnips, yeah.
So it's a scare tactic. They threw you in there to scare you, and you could just send somebody to your Swiss bank account to give them the money.
Actually, it's in the Caymans, but you don't need to know that, okay?
And then you have Carl LeBeau's story.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Carl LeBeau!
Carl is a well-known stand-up comedian.
And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I play clubs and theaters all over the country. And side splitters.
I am here with
Carl LeBeau, 5'9", 175 pounds.
This isn't a dating site.
Oh.
Carl is a turnip because he faces jail time for a child that is not his.
What if the child isn't theirs and the mother is going after him for child support? DNA. Doesn't hold up in court sometimes. Really?
So when does DNA not count?
I found out that my child was not mine, and I told my ex-wife that I wouldn't pay for a crime committed against me in the bedroom. She agreed, and then she found out how the law system worked and let the law take money from me so that she didn't have to go after the real father.
Child is actually his best friend's, who is the late Sam Kinison.
And why did it's been too long, is what they said?
Yeah, they said that the time period has gone by.
DNA evidence proves.
Well, I don't know, but I just found out my baby's not mine.
And the courts say?
I tried, I went to the courts, I presented my proof, and they said it's not good enough. They got me because my name's on a birth certificate. So that's the little catchphrase and or reality that they have. I'm sorry, you only have 2 years to prove it. But I didn't find out until she was almost 4. So that time
You have
period
2
is
years after the child is born.
to prove that you're not, in California, to prove that you're not the father of the child. But I found out when she was almost 4.
Now, how did they prevent you from getting work? I know the passport and the
Well,
driver's
can you imagine
license.
being a comedy club owner and you hire me to come play your club?
Okay.
So I come in with my show, and there's packed houses through the week, and every day you get over 40 phone calls from child services going, if we don't get his money this week, we're going to shut your club down, we're going to sue you, we're going to... And they get so many harassing calls from different people that answer the phone that they report it to the owner, and then the owner goes, oh, I don't want to book Carl again because it's too much of a hassle to deal with.
It seems like some of the steps that they're taking against these people isn't really benefiting anybody.
There are women turnips too.
My youngest sister has an ex-husband, and she's the one who's paying child support.
She's the turnip.
She is. But yet he has taken advantage of the system.
So were you the only turnip in jail?
No, actually, there were about 6 other guys that were there for either spousal support or child support. One guy was in there because he gave his wife money. She blew it on a breast enhancement and her escort service website. And she came back saying that he didn't pay her any money. The judge believed her and put him in jail for a year.
It's the time and the energy and the resources and the money that they're spending on stuff like this could just be better allocated.
A guy in there that had just had 2 neck surgeries, and he was a chef. He could not be a chef anymore because he had, these neck surgeries, and he needed a 3rd one. The judge told him that if he wanted to have another neck surgery, he'd find a nice bed for him in jail to recuperate.
It's debtor's prison. I'm assuming that your wife is like living in poverty and really struggling to feed your children?
No, my ex-wife makes $102,000 a year, lives in a $500,000 home, has 2 cars, and a live-in nanny.
It's a way for vengeful custodial parents to get at the person that they left, the ex-boyfriend or the ex-husband.
Honestly, I think that the system's just become a way for women to take their aggressions out on these men. And that's not what it was put there for.
Laws I know were put into place for reasons. I understand that, to give us a kind of a boundary of issues. The human element should never be taken away.
So you lost your jobs while you were in jail.
I did.
And now you have to start all over again.
That's correct.
What good is it going to do to put somebody in jail? How are they going to pay if they're in jail?
They owe even more when they get out, and the taxpayers have had to pay to put this person in jail.
Stories that I read on the Facebook wall since I have started this campaign, some of them just break my heart. The one that sticks out in my mind the most is a woman who married a turnip, and they have children now too. The courts don't care about those children. They're more concerned about the first wife's children, and she writes about the first wife. She rolls in an SUV with TVs and built-in PlayStations. We drive broken down vehicles and eat ramen. Not cool. No, Roxanne, that is not cool.
It does make you mad when you hear about things like this.
Brad writes, also sad as a parent who would seek to destroy completely through lies and deceit the other parent to their child. To do so is child abuse. Becky writes, us women backing this effort are embarrassed by the women who use their children as leverage and the judicial system that backs them. Together we can make a difference.
She doesn't
I was
want
just
my
going to ask,
money.
do you have a relationship with
Yeah, I
with the
met
girl?
her 3 years ago, and she knows I'm not her father, and she knows that her mom's got the wrong attitude.
Jay writes, the judge and the lawyers are all on the same team. When you go to family court, it is like entering a casino thinking you are going to beat the house. It's not over till the money is gone.
I would think that during this whole process, as much as I hate this person, that the government would step in and say, let's be logical about the whole situation. And I know that sounds silly to say, but somebody has to be logical about it. Somebody has to stand up and...
None of this makes sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's absolutely absurd.
This is crazy.
It's ridiculous.
It is crazy.
It's ugly.
I don't care who you are. I don't think you could look me in the eye and tell me that that's justice.
It's not your fault. Things happen to you in life. We've all been there. You accident, your job, you get fired. All kinds of things happen.
Go get the felons. Go get the guys off the street who are committing crimes. Leave guys like us who are trying alone.
I'm mesmerized by this bracelet.
This one was given to me by a guy that found out that 9 of his children weren't his.
9?
9 of his children. He had 10 kids. Only 1 was his child.
You were making that up.
Yeah, I am. But I thought it would look good.
Hey, you know what? It's California. That doesn't surprise me there.
This is a turnip, and this is the Child Support Enforcement Division.
We have to educate people.
I had no idea how bad it really was.
We have to make them aware of what's going on here.
Now, whenever I tell you that somebody's behind on child support, what instantly comes to your mind? I love this guy.
We have to save the turnips.
Save the turnips.
Save the turnips.
Save the turnips.
Save the turnips.